The Calhoun County captured escapee took off while he was on a work detail. Sheriff Greg Pollen says trustees escaping while out on a work detail is rare, but it does happen from time to time.
That's right. The sheriff says even trustees still have to be constantly watched when they're out on those details. Our Jory Talley joins us in the studio now with more on that. Jory.
Pollen tells me there are measures put in place to prevent trustees escaping while out on working. He also says supervisors are always around.
If they're working for one of the towns or for the solid waste, you know, they're being supervised. But sometimes, unfortunately, obviously that's what happened this past week, the supervision fell short and he saw a small window and he took advantage of it and walked off from his work detail.
Calhoun County Sheriff Greg Pollen says this is the second or third time something like this has happened in his 6 years as sheriff.
You know, it happens, and it depends on the inmate. It depends on what they're here for, or if they get an opportunity to experience freedom for a few, they'll take it. So it's a constant, vigilant thing that you have to do to stay on top of them.
Supervision is harder on some work details than others. Pollen says that's the case on a garbage detail because inmates are on and off the truck, out in the general public, and have access to many things.
They have phones in the jail here, and they can call and tell family members, you know, I'm going to be on so-and-so truck tomorrow. So we have to constantly move them around, shuffle them around so they don't get in a routine. Anything that we can do to bust up, you know, the routine of them being in a certain area at a certain date.
The sheriff says although trustees have more freedom than other inmates, they're still behind bars for breaking the law.
At the same time, you have to remember they are, you know, they are prisoners, they are inmates, and they're here for a reason, and you just can't let them take advantage of you, because if you give them a quarter of an inch, they will take 100 miles.
Pollen also says trustees who run face additional time to their sentences. He also says if anyone helps the trustee escape, then they also can face the same penalty as the escapee.
All right, Jory, thanks so much for that story.